Welcome into the DCFC Fieldhouse in Detroit, Michigan for the second quarterfinal of the 2026 MASLW playoffs. I'm Ian Gilmore. Next to me once more is David Dwayhe. Thanks for joining us at this 1 p.m. game for the second quarterfinal of these playoffs between the number 2 seed ICT Aztecs and the number 7 seed Cincinnati Sirens. And the Sirens will be the team to get us underway here. David, your thoughts on the matchup we've got in front of us right now?
Well, it's always fun for us in the broadcast to see new teams. It was fun to see Iowa and Lone Star earlier today, and seeing Cincinnati, a team from the Great Lakes Division that we didn't quite get to see this year as DCFC people. This will be fun as a team that's a storied Arena League team. And then this ICT Aztecs team, who are, for us, totally unknown. It's neat to see fresh matchups and fresh personnel out there. Looking forward to it, and I think we're going to have a good game.
If there's one thing that the stats will tell us, it is that this one might not have too many goals. Cincinnati has the best defensive record in the league, and ICT Aztecs are tied for third.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle of the back lines and two teams that can definitely defend their goal.
Cincinnati in 10 games, we'll put a little asterisk next to that because those include, I think, 1 or 2 forfeits for Indiana United, but only conceded 26 goals all year. ICT Aztecs 34.
Well, I'll tell you what, just early observations of this Cincinnati team, their movement and passing are impressive. They're really already looking like they're into a rhythm.
Chance here, but that one goes through the legs. Cincinnati haven't given up any more than 6 goals in a game so far this year. We saw the number 1 seed Iowa Demon Hawks put 8 past Texas Lone Star just about an hour ago.
Great first match of the playoff weekend.
It really was.
Sorry I couldn't join you for the second half.
It's okay, McKenna Mascaro deputized very well.
Oh, man, I can only imagine how insightful and strong her start was. And she said she had a lot of fun as well.
Good.
Ooh. A little activity by the boards there.
Gave it right back to her as well, and they'll play advantage.
Let them play.
It's one thing we saw in the first game as well, is the intensity is high, and of course that can sometimes lend itself to fouls and things among that nature. I think we saw more power plays in one game that I had seen, at least in the Detroit games that we've called so far this year.
Yeah, it was a big
I think there were 6 of them, maybe.
Mm-hmm. And we saw some power play goals, right? I mean, like the situation did what it's intended to. It created some extra scoring chances and opens games up for sure.
Also, I'm a fan of these Cincinnati kids.
I
They're
am
a bit
too.
all over the place, but in like a good way.
Yeah,
I like it. And
I
always
like the Blues.
Always love a blue versus red kit matchup too. I'm personally
Classic.
a fan of those. Yep.
Classic color matchup here.
So for those who are maybe new to the playoffs, actually we'll table that thought while this chance comes from Cincinnati. It comes to the far side to Kelsey Keown. Squished up against the board. But so this is day 1 of the MASLW playoffs. They will all be held here at the City Fieldhouse for today, 10 o'clock this morning. Obviously, this is the 1 p.m. game. We've got games at 4 p.m., 7 p.m., that 4 o'clock game featuring RPFC Dallas and FC Berlin. And then the capper of the night will be the home team. Well, I guess technically in the matchup,
the host team?
They're the away team,
yeah,
but they are
right.
the host, Detroit City FC, technically hosting Louisville Triumph. So that one will be fun. We've got 2 games tomorrow. The semifinals are at 3:30 and 7 p.m., followed by a Sunday championship match at 2 o'clock.
Yes, and if the first game is any indication, the level of play this weekend, the intensity, the competitiveness, it's going to be well worth the price of admission, and for those of you tuning in at home, well worth checking out some of these upcoming games.
Even just with the tackles that are flying in already in the first 4 minutes of this one, 11 minutes on the clock left to go in the first quarter. That one will come goalie to goalie. In goal for Cincinnati, it's Angel Haley wearing the number 1. It's been all Cincinnati early. But here come Aztecs as they make their way down the pitch. They've got some attacking flair and attacking power. Michaela Morgan is on the first team all MASLW. She's scored 19 goals in 10 games this year, and right behind her is Dora Gallo with 11 goals and 10 assists. Good enough for MASLW, all second team this year.
Ian, not to put you on the spot, where are the ITC Aztecs from?
Wichita.
Wichita, that's okay.
Right in the heartland of the country.
Very cool.
A lot of Kansas teams in that division, and I think a couple Wichita teams strictly in that city. Similar to the Dallas teams that we had coming. Which
yeah, we get little
also,
clusters of teams in this league, right?
We had a fan on YouTube that was, I think, maybe not correcting us, but clarifying that both of those teams play slightly outside of the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Okay.
But go by the name Dallas. I think one played in Carrollton it was, and I can't remember where the other one was.
Gotcha.
But
very cool.
gives us a chance, though, to say hello to you at home, everyone watching on the YouTube. Feel free to jump in the chat. Let us know your thoughts, feelings, opinions. If you got any questions, maybe we'll check them out at halftime.
Yeah,
if we
that
can.
sounds fun.
Always love interacting with all you guys watching at home. 5.5 minutes into the first quarter. Aztecs trying to get a hold of the ball for a little bit of an extended spell. They'll release down the field here into the corner. And cutting it back is Gallo for the first time today, I should say. That one cuts across, and it was a good little ball, but no one there to meet it.
The level of this game's been really high so far. Obviously, the tackles are flying in, and the intensity is at a 10, but also just the quality of passing, movement off the ball. See a really nice individual effort here.
Able to dance around the tackle, but corralled by Cincinnati.
I guess what's noteworthy about that for me is that at this point in the game, you'd think there'd be kind of like the butterflies and the nervous energy, and people maybe aren't looking to get on the ball as much. They're just playing safe. But counter to that expectation,
that one cuts across and it sneaks in.
Wow.
Natalie Aranios opens the deadlock.
I couldn't tell if that went like behind the goalie or far post, but it certainly caught her by surprise. I think it was almost like a cross-turn goal, but definitely a welcome go-ahead goal for Cincinnati.
I think the keeper was essentially anticipating the cross coming across and might have cheated out.
Snuck in on the near post.
Yeah, and it just spun off the boards and in.
Yep.
So
they come all sorts of different ways in the arena game.
Yeah, Aronios scores her second goal of the year, and it is the first of the day in the 2-7 matchup. Here comes Cincinnati once more. Cut inside and finds the bottom corner.
They're hot right now.
And in quick succession, Asha Valathong gets her first goal of the year.
What a finish. And what a nice move to set up space for herself on her, I'm guessing, preferred right foot, the way she struck that ball. And Cincinnati's rolling here. You see this a lot in the arena game. One goal begets two, and I think sometimes teams get on these runs and they come quick. And for the Aztecs at this point, you're just trying to stop the bleeding.
Well, it might come again. Here comes Cincinnati once more. Toria Abbott moving forward. Now laying it back to Gabby Bjorth. And I think that's what I get for saying this one might be low scoring. We get two goals in quick succession. Yeah. Even though still, I mean, Cincinnati only has one player on the roster with more than 4 goals this year. Although it is spread pretty evenly. Michaela Woods has 7 goals and leads the team, but the rest of the team, Toria Abbott has 4. There's a couple with 3, and then there's 1s and 2s scattered all the way down the roster.
Well, it's interesting. Prior to these 2 goals, there weren't any like really high percentage chances. I didn't think a team was unlucky not to score, but then all of a sudden you get 2 good ones and 2 goals. So like it has been a defensive battle for sure. Just two little key moments that have suddenly made this thing feel like there's some goals in it. Gosh, I've been really impressed with the way Cincinnati stepped to the ball defensively. When the Aztecs have played forward, Cincinnati's either right there or they're stepping in front of that receiving forward and just like winning the ball straight up.
Audrey Rodas trying to get on the end of it and win it back. They'll give it back to the Aztecs here.
And
blocked.
It's an interesting contrast because like the way Iowa was, making their presence felt defensively, they were just like buzzing around, double teaming the ball a lot. Cincinnati almost, they take a little bit of a, their line of confrontation is maybe a little further back toward their own goal, but once it's crossed, they really step hard to the ball, and it's been very effective today. We see here 17 stepping into it, just kind of effectively eliminating any chance of the Aztecs establishing possession.
Rodas looking forward.
Ooh, she's in.
A quick turn, and it's a chance again. The keeper does really well this time.
There.
Given right back, though. But here come the ICT Aztecs putting the press on, but they'll go back to the keeper. Here's Haley having to play quickly.
Pace of this game is not slowing down, Ian.
Not at all. And we'll take that. No problems there. That one takes a bit of a weird flick off the boards, and the keeper will come out for it.
The Cincinnati team just swarms defensively.
They're
very kind of envelop you. Once you play forward, it's like you're going to have pressure.
That one's trickled down the side of the boards as they try to get onto the end of it. They are sprinting to every single ball, and it begets them a chance here.
Good save.
It's all Cincinnati at the moment. 10 minutes into the first quarter. It's 2-0. Another effort. That one going just wide to the left. Here's another chance. The keeper does really well on the second effort.
Great
it's
save.
Whiffed. And it ends up in the hands of the keeper. She's done really well to keep it at 2 on that one. And here comes the very dangerous Michaela Morgan.
Nice
streaking down the right-hand side. She'll keep going. Looking to play it off the boards. Takes a wild bounce and goes off the net. Interestingly enough, both of the top scorers on these teams are named Michaela, and they both wear number 22.
Well, that's fun.
Very. All right, as we hit this media timeout with 4:33 left on the board, I got to ask McKenna some of these questions about previewing the DCFC Louisville game at 7 p.m. tonight.
Nice.
Your thoughts on that take, or your take on that matchup? Sorry.
Man, that's an exciting fixture. Obviously, I have a vested interest in that game, being a DCFC supporter. But we saw those teams. We saw them play here. I think back in early February. And then the return leg in Louisville was like the following weekend. So they had a quick little home and home, but just the closeness of both of those games, the way I think leads changed in both games multiple times. And it's two really well-matched teams who know each other. The whole spirit of today in terms of the way that the league structured the playoffs was to make sure that teams got to play more or less fresh opponents. But because Detroit City FC and Louisville are technically in opposite ends of the Great Lakes Conference, it was allowed that they could play each other, they had only played each other by virtue of the crossover game. So, the one matchup that is familiar, where there is a background, and we can look at how these teams have done against each other historically. So, really excited to see how a round 3 looks. I think it's going to be a great match between two very, in terms of like how they match up. I think both teams have strengths that really challenge the other opponent, whereas Detroit City FC, I think, are going to pride themselves on being like defensively really hard to break down. Louisville have some really technical players that like to unlock defenses, and Detroit City FC have some athleticism up front that they're going to rely on the counter. I'm sure Louisville are, looking to utilize their athleticism defensively to match that. What did McKenna say?
Along those lines, yeah. I think you guys analyzed it quite well, yeah.
I think both teams probably would have preferred to play each other later in the playoffs and to have the experience of a quote-unquote fresh opponent. But on the other hand, you can actually prepare a lot better for a team that you've played. So I think you kind of take the good with the bad. They're both happy to be here this weekend, obviously. So you play the team that's in front of you, but I think it'll be a really close game, and I'm excited to watch it.
3:53 left to go in the first quarter. We have just actually been made aware that some of the numbers we had earlier were wrong, so we'll try to correct some names for you as we go. So that first goal that we thought was scored by Natalie Aronios was actually Kelsey Keown, so she grabbed the opener for Cincinnati. So stand over and look for another chance. And that is Natalie Aronios, number 7, coming in trying to make that chance happen. They'll go all the way back to Angel Haley. Here's Aronios one more time. Very composed under
Yeah,
pressure.
really good on the ball. She kind of caught my eye. I was watching the Cincinnati team warm up and just seeing like her command of the ball. They were playing a little possession game, and I was just like, oh, wow, she's a baller, you know. You can see pretty quickly that she's comfortable with it, even when being pressured. Question as to where this free kick is happening.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati were expecting a corner, or at least it to be their ball somewhere, but it'll go back to the keeper of Aztecs instead.
They get a little numbers up breakout off of it.
Romeo's going to be battling in the corner. Kind of put into the boards a bit there, and a little bit of afters with the keeper as well. Allison Worley was going through for Aztecs.
Aronio's wise to go down there, kind of like draw the foul and make sure the ref knows it.
Allows her team to breathe a little bit here as well.
I know a couple people who are good at that.
Yes.
On the Detroit City FC side.
I know the one that you'd probably name first.
Yeah.
Hannah Crum.
Yep. And on the men's side?
Jesse El Cedeno.
Yes.
Let's go.
Some players just have that skill. It's not diving. It's like they sense contact. They know it's coming. They react to it at the right time so that it, occurs to the ref that a foul is the appropriate call. And sometimes it bails you out of a tough situation, like we saw down here with Aronio's facing her own goal with pressure coming from behind. And other times when you're in the offensive end, it leads to a dangerous free kick where you might be able to cook something up in a set-piece situation. Equally valuable.
Here's the goal scorer for Cincinnati, number 4. It's actually Laura Rose who scored that second goal for Cincy.
That might have been one of the better goals we've seen today. Just a great one-on-one move to free up space for herself and a really confident finish into the lower corner.
Not something that there's even usually space to do in this sort of game.
No, it was additionally impressive because of how tight things are once you're, in the other team's fourth and the other team has established, it wasn't on the break.
Maybe a chance now for ICT as they move forward.
Cincinnati have really gotten a lot of mileage so far out of just not letting the Aztecs get out.
Audrey Rodas gets back onto it. Now here is Alicia Valetong. Back to Rodas. Good ball movement up front from Cincy. That one comes across, and the keeper is able to grab it this time.
Nice move.
Chance.
Wow.
That one is needing to be saved.
What a save. What a strike as well. I mean, the only thing more impressive than that strike was the save.
Really good effort and really good save. Talking to, funny enough, Louisville's coach, Jacob Teasley, asking him about Cincinnati, who they saw quite a few times this year. He said that the first time they played earlier in the year, it was a bit of a different roster than they saw in the last game of the season when Louisville beat them in overtime, and said that if they bring the same roster, which I think they might have, what a ball that is through.
Ooh.
Chance here for Cincinnati. And still there. Cleared off the line now. I'm not sure how that stayed out, but it did.
What a flurry.
But Louisville's head coach Jacob Teasley said that if they bring the same roster that they did that last game of the season, they've got a chance to make some real noise in this tournament.
Yeah. I think we're seeing already, and I think you're right, they seem to have brought that group. I think we're seeing already a very, very high-quality team in all facets of the game, and now
There's
they're up
3.
3-0.
Yeah. As we click right under a minute to go, Cincinnati have made it 3-0 over the 2 seed in the first quarter.
And I think there are some times where you see a game that's gotten a little bit one-sided scoreline-wise, where one team is maybe like a little off they're a little off, or they seem to be a little wary. But like, I don't think the Aztecs have not played well. I think they're working hard and they're pressuring the ball and they're doing everything they can. It's just Cincinnati's they've just been at a different level and really starting to kind of feel themselves here, especially in possession.
Christy Zwolski gets the credit for that goal.
It's their movement,
and
their
they're
runs
trying
off
it
the
once
block.
more.
They just look really, every time they have the ball, it looks like they're going to score or at least create a really good chance.
Yeah, that's Zwolski's second goal of the year, and it makes it 3-0 for Cincy just under 15 minutes into this. Pressure being applied a bit better now by the Aztecs.
And I think that's what they're going to need. They're going to need some moments like that where they just kind of outwill Cincinnati and make something happen through effort. Wow, what
a nice turn that is. 10 seconds left to go on the clock. How aware of that are they? And it comes the other way. Now Cincy will try to go the other way. Down to 3 seconds now. They've got to get a shot off.
From the Aztecs there. I think that's the version of themselves that they want to be.
And the clock will run out. So, wow, what a first quarter that is from Cincinnati. The 7 seed beating the 2 seed early on.
Yeah, I think we've seen, potentially like the best of what they're looking to bring. They've been very intense and focused defensively, but some really impressive sequences when they've been in possession as well. I think the end of the quarter probably comes at a welcome time for the Aztecs here. They need to regroup and figure out how to replicate what we saw in the last 10, 15 seconds of the period there, where they were dictating the pace of the game a little bit.
Quick break here, and we'll be back with the second quarter right after this. Welcome back inside the City Fieldhouse as we get ready for second quarter action between Cincinnati Sirens and ICT Aztecs. It's the 2-7 matchup. It's the second quarter final of the day here, the 1 p.m. matchup, and Cincinnati has bounced out to an early lead thanks to a very strong performance in that first quarter.
Yeah, just in between periods here, talking with some of the staff who are around and just kind of marveling at what a strong start Cincinnati just produced against a very good Aztecs team. I think like I said at the end of the period, as we were signing off for a moment, I think the end of the period came at an opportune time, gave the Aztecs a chance to regroup, strategize, and find their way into this game, because the way Cincinnati were playing in those final couple minutes, it looked like they might really extend a lead.
And it's almost like there's really, this weekend I don't think we're going to see too much of a skill gap or talent gap or whatever. The energy levels, however, from Cincinnati coming out of the gates have been so high.
Yeah, buzzing and sustained. I didn't know if they could keep it up.
Right.
But I'd say, oh, what a pass.
Got a free kick coming as ICT Aztecs were moving their way forward. So Cincinnati will be over the ball.
Trying to figure out what happened there.
I am unaware.
We don't have the benefit of an instant replay, but referee Conlon Campbell seemed to be on top of it as always. Fantastic referee and a great crew around him today.
I can't tell because they switched colors, but is it, will these guys be switching in and out for games?
Possibly.
It's the same crew.
The crews,
right?
yes.
Yeah,
I happen to know the answer to that. I think it's going to be every 2 games. So the crew of 4 that worked the first game, they just switched roles for the second game, and then we've got a fresh group of 4 coming in for the 4 o'clock and the 7 o'clock. But according to a referee expert And MASLW assigner Bill Howard, he said, like, all the refs that are in this weekend are just, like, top-class, really good level referees. So fortunate to have that, as we have all season. We've had great refereeing throughout.
That was a really good chance for Cincinnati to put the fourth on the board there.
That might have been a bit of a dagger in some ways. As early as it is in the game, I think if you're the Aztecs, you're really, psychologically and otherwise, you need to score the next goal of the game.
Right. Michaela Morgan, if it's going to come from anywhere, it's going to come from number 22 in red. She's got 19 goals this year. Good enough for all first-team MSLW. There's a save made by Mallory Lund, who is in goal today for Aztecs. It's one of the things with a place with no windows. I keep forgetting it's daytime right now.
Yeah. Right, we're used to always being here at 7 for a 7:30 kickoff.
That shot blocked, but another one coming in, whooshed up in the air. And Cincinnati can come away with it, but they've given it right back.
Nice little move there.
Toria Abbott, who's making her way forward.
This Aztecs team, like in one-on-one situations, they've had a couple really bright moments. Gotten in behind someone, used the boards thoughtfully. It's just the case, though, that Cincinnati's been a little, they're just so savvy with their defending and make sure they're always covering for each other. You really got to beat every player on the team if you're going to score a goal.
Right. Trying to play a little entry ball into Abbott. He's the second leading goal scorer on the team this year with 4.
I think some signs of life, though, from the Aztecs in the beginning of this period. They've looked a little more confident on the ball. They've gotten it forward a few more times than maybe they had it to this point in the quarter last time around. They're finding their footing.
These changes are coming pretty thick and fast, too. I think that's a lot down to how Cincinnati's doing it and how intense they are going with their press and their running.
Yeah. I was thinking about this a moment ago. What a first touch there.
How good is that? A chance, and it gets all the way through.
What a finish.
Christy Zwolski has her second of the night, and Cincy are up 4.
Great strike from Zwolski. I was just going to say, one thing that shifted with the changing of the period is that now both teams are their bench is on the defensive half, and so they're able to make these changes a little more fluidly and a little more consistently.
What a first touch that was. Set herself up perfectly. I think some questions might be asked about Lund on the save.
Yeah, you could tell she was frustrated. She felt like she knew she should have done better on that one.
And the defender has come through the back there, so it'll be a free kick to Cincinnati in a bit of a dangerous position.
You're seeing here like evidence of what we're saying with the changing. Cincinnati making a change, even though they got a free kick in the offensive end, like taking an opportunity to make a change when the ball is out and they're about to be in possession, because freshness is the name of the game here. You got to keep your changes regular.
Here's Rodas.
Good ball.
Looking for a ball into Rose.
Cincinnati just really moved it well today. I think I've said that a few times already. There's just movement,
you're telling
passing.
The truth, yeah.
And if with good passing and with a good passing game, I think the common denominator is movement off the ball, and they just do not stop running. Like all 5 field players are in constant interchange and overlapping one another and circulation. It's like you watch them, and there's a reason they're able to keep possession so well. It's their movement off the ball.
As good as they've been defensively so far for Cincinnati, you got to think ICT Aztecs will have chances as they come. We talked about Cincinnati, and they don't score a ton of goals. Like I said, there's only one person with more than 4 goals on their team. You look at ICT Aztecs, they've got 11 players with 5 goals or more.
Yeah, they can create. They're not a 2 seed for nothing.
Right. The only blemish on their record was an overtime win, so that kept them from a perfect 30-point 10-0 season. Instead, it was a 29-point 10-0 season with an overtime win.
It's good to be a little bit imperfect, right?
Well, I think you got to go through some adversity always, right?
Yeah, for sure.
If you're going to be a successful team, know how to react to things and bounce back from things.
Yeah, we were saying that, I can't remember when. it might have just been in some of our preliminary conversations, but we were talking about the idea that a lot of these teams that were in the Great Lakes Conference kind of have almost to their advantage the fact that they've all taken at least a loss or two this season. They've kind of traded blows, and they've all experienced the adversity and the setback of a loss, and not just what the experience feels like in the moment, but the after effects and how you learn from it and adapt. And it's like, I think when you go into a playoff weekend, it's actually a benefit to have gone through it, as opposed to a team that maybe has what a ball that is, by the way.
Great ball over the top, and here's a chance. It's Lucio making her way through. Great ball in, and they've squandered the opportunity, and it might turn into something for Cincinnati on the other end.
Oh, what a moment that was. A really great build-up from the Aztecs there, and it just couldn't quite get on the end of it, the far post runner.
It was Lucio that was...
Thought we were going to see it go to 4-1.
Yeah, and Emily Romero was there at the back post and just couldn't get there quick enough. What a chance that was.
It was a great ball from the Aztecs goalkeeper over the top. Just floated that in right between the opposing goalkeeper and the back line, and the ball was read really well by the Aztecs forward. Ooh, nice little toe poke across the body there. Yeah,
I think we can all say that we'd be surprised if it ended with a 0 for ICT Aztecs.
Yeah, I think
even if we got to halftime and it was still that way.
Right.
Speaking on that adversity chat that you were just having, though, David, I think you've got it spot on. When there's a team like Aztecs who haven't maybe been in this position all year, it's so tough to deal with that the first time in the playoffs.
Yeah, like you don't want the first time you're chasing a lead to be the most consequential game of the season, where you're playing presumably one of the better teams you're going to play. Like, you kind of want to have gone through it, and you want to have experienced how it affects you.
Here comes Rose with her pace. Keeper comes off her line, makes a save.
Wow, fantastic save from the on-rushing goalkeeper there, and keeps this a game.
Lund does really well because she couldn't use her hands there. She was outside of her box.
Yeah, she laid out perfectly, like made herself as big as possible, but kept her hands out of the way.
But here comes Rose once more. That was a brilliant foot race between her and the defender.
Yeah, Rose got there first for sure. She did nothing wrong, just a great save from the goalkeeper.
As we hit the 8-minute mark, 8 minutes left to go until halftime in the second quarterfinal here, and Rose has drawn a foul once more off of Kaylee Swanson. Ronio's. Here's Rose squaring it across and cleared out.
So that hit the ceiling, which means I think we're going to get one of the second spot. This looks like they're going to be on the line.
So not as close.
So maybe the ceiling is the line, Ian, and the side netting is the second dot. Can we bring in an outside opinion? Coach McKenna Mascaro's right here. This is on the line because it hit ceiling first. If it had been a little lower and hit the side netting, it would be the second dot. We've got confirmation.
We've got confirmation.
Thank you, guys. I wondered why that happened early in the last game a few times. It's the side netting.
Ceiling, yellow line, defensive clearance dot is what we're hearing.
Those of you tuning in at home, remember that.
And we'll say hi to as well, as we see on camera. Yusuf Anaya behind the camera, by the way.
Shout out to Yusuf for his fantastic camera work today.
Well, let's take a second to kind of reflect on some of the season that me and you have had so far, watching the DCFC games. When you look back on kind of those really close games, the Louisville games, the Berlin games, the experience that the women have kind of taken from those and how they might kind of be productive this weekend. Yeah,
I mean, I think in stark contrast to last season, where our women kind of had it fairly comfortable throughout the regular season and didn't really get a significant test until, the final games of this season and the postseason, but really that championship was where they really met their match with an opponent like Chihuahua Savage. And I think it worked against them. They would be the first to admit it was hard to adjust to that in the moment. Whereas this year, I think they come in a little bit more battle-tested. They've been through some tough games. They've been through some games that haven't gone their way. I think it's been a great motivator for them, especially as they've prepared for postseason play, to recognize that every game's going to be tough this weekend, take nothing for granted. And also, as we've been talking about, the in-game experience of chasing. Wow. That was a nice little set piece from Cincinnati. I think a bunch of us here said wow on that. But just the experience of chasing a game, not being in the lead from the get-go and having to come from behind, or having to Oh, that's the goal.
They're finally
you
on
called
the board.
it, Ian. These guys were destined to find something, and that came at just the right time.
And Michaela Morgan gets goal number 20 on the year and opens the account for ICT Aztecs here in the playoffs.
That was a goal scorer's goal, Ian. Like, really great run individually on the dribble, but also just like the quick toe poke finish, keeping it low. I think I couldn't tell for sure, but I think it went between the goalkeeper's legs because she had everything else covered. That's the quintessential Arena League goal. Quick fire shot, low and hard, that just sneaks under the goalie, and not many people as practiced at it as number 22 for the Aztecs.
Yeah, first team all MSLW for a reason. Michaela Morgan, that's her 20th of the season, to go with 4 assists as well. So it's 4-1 now. We've got a bit more of a game. Not that it hasn't been to this point, but Cincinnati has come out of the gates really well. We just saw a lot of the players from the DCFC men's team walk out to the bus as they prepare to make their way down to Indianapolis this weekend. They play down there 7 o'clock tomorrow night, which you can watch in the clubhouse if you are here in person.
That's right.
So just good wishes to them and safe travels.
Yeah, absolutely. And a fun fact for anyone tuning in at home who's not able to be in Detroit this weekend, things are set for tomorrow where the first semifinals played at 3:30 and the second semifinals at 7 o'clock. And so you can kind of get, especially if you're a Detroit City FC fan, you can get an in-game, like an in-person viewing experience here, potentially involving the Detroit City FC women, but they got work to do first this evening. But then stay in the clubhouse and watch the men play at 7 while you maybe look down on the boarded field and watch the second semifinal as well. So a lot of different types and all very high-level soccer to be viewed here at the Detroit City Fieldhouse this weekend.
So let's see how Cincinnati respond to giving up a first goal of the day. They'll drop another set piece here.
Ooh,
what a save
what a
that
save.
is by Lund.
That was far post boundy.
Yeah, and she has really made up for maybe that fourth goal that she was disappointed by. That has totally made up for it because that was headed right for the corner.
That was a sure goal. I was ready to say 5-1. That she really robbed. That was number 7 again.
Aronios,
Really, really well-struck shot from her, curler to the far post. It just took once again, a great strike, bringing out a great save from the goalkeeper. We saw that. Oh, what a dummy. What
nice
a dummy
is that?
from number 3 on the Aztecs.
They will keep going. Lucio, the furthest forward, lays it back.
It was really smart for her to let that ball go past her.
Starting to have a bit more success as they move forward. That pass is a little wayward, though. Under 7 minutes left to play until half. Rose is streaking forward, just out of the picture. And they will recycle things to Villetong.
Ian, I enjoyed your use of the word wayward, and it reminded me that you had another really good vocab word in the first game that you had borrowed from a
purchase.
Purchase, and that can be used to as a shot. How did you use it again?
Like getting purchase onto something, like conviction and
meaning it.
Yeah. Aronios, will she have another go? She does. It's blocked before it gets to the keeper.
She's a very dynamic defensive player. She's been a constant threat, especially as Cincinnati have established possession in multiple instances when she's been on the field today. She is just like a constant source of danger.
Romero's the defender here. She was the one that blocked that, and she came up a little bit gimpy afterward. What a tackle that is.
What a tackle.
That's put in by Lexi Clark. Proper defender's tackle there.
And the Cincinnati player not backing down there. This has been a really brave performance from both teams. No one's shying away from the physical side of the game.
Here's second-teamer Gallo feeding it inside. Rose looking to come away with it. Gets past one tackle, but it comes to the feet of Miller.
Rose is another one who, when she's getting on the ball, good things are happening for Cincinnati.
Yeah. Long distance effort.
Nice save.
Away by Haley. Keeper will make her way. Lund will make her way into the attacking half.
You made the run forward.
Now,
you might as well make yourself a passing option. For those who hadn't heard us talk about it earlier, the goalkeeper can receive.
What a turn and finish that is. It gets through the keeper's legs, and the deficit is cut to 2.
Wow. Game on. Game on. It's been a huge last couple minutes for the Aztecs as they've worked their way back into range here. And as we've talked about so many times this season, Ian, it's a game of momentum shifts. It's apt that March Madness is happening right now, and on the college basketball side we see frequent lead changes and runs being made, and I think the arena version of soccer, much more so than the typical 11v11 version, features those frequent momentum shifts that are so consequential to the end result.
That was Nayeli Gallo who has scored the second goal, I believe, probably some sort of relation to Dora Gallo. So 4.5 minutes left until halftime. 2 goals unanswered at the moment for the Aztecs. They'll go long, looking for Zwolski, who's on a hat trick. She's got 2 already tonight.
She is, she's fun to watch. Her first touch, her movement off the ball, she's a very, very high-level player, and she's shown it today.
Rodas had a good chance there, went with the toe poke. She'll try to get in here, but they will find the danger player, Morgan. Michaela Morgan almost gets through the legs of Haley, but she saves that one. Looking to go quickly, but kind of misjudges that one, and it'll bounce into the net.
We obviously were talking about like the impact goals have on momentum, but I just think in general the Aztecs are having a little more joy now. As good as Cincinnati continue to be, they've shown themselves to be a little bit human. And the Aztecs are starting to, I feel like, maybe gain a little bit of confidence is the best way to put it. Like they just seem to have a little more belief and a little bit more confidence in their attack.
They're surely settling in a bit more as this game goes on. Abbott wins that one, but can't find a player in blue.
They've got Cincinnati on the run a little bit more. Cincinnati just seemed to be in total control throughout the first period and the beginning of the second period. And now they seem to have, just a little bit of that doubt and nerves creep in when you maybe start to surrender a bit of your lead. And with that, your opponent, like the Aztecs gain confidence. It's kind of like it's a compounded effect. As one team gains it, the other team naturally. It's like there's a law of conservation of confidence out there.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it.
As one team gains it, the other kind of has to lose it, or is like inclined to lose it. It's really hard to keep your confidence and your swagger when the other team is working their way back into the game.
One will go long, cut out by Bileton. Rodas comes away with it. They've got a bit of numbers,
up,
yeah.
2v1.
Abbott's in behind. Can she finish?
Wow.
No, a save is made on the follow-up, and it's put away.
It's a big goal for Cincinnati.
That's actually
there.
Kelsey Keown with her second of the match to make it 5-2 with under 3 minutes till half.
It's a great first save from the goalkeeper, but can only do so much there, and she tucked it into the side netting on the rebound.
When you're on a one-on-one like that, you got to make the first save, and she did, but unfortunately for her, it wasn't enough that time. Defender does really well there to win it back.
Aztecs players use the boards really well on the dribble.
As much as it can be in arena soccer, that goal felt a little bit against the run of play.
Yeah, well said. I think the timing for Cincinnati was really critical.
Gallo wins that one fairly, according to the referees. Appreciate the physicality that they're allowing, especially in a game like this, of this intensity.
I was just going to say, I feel like defensively teams are just starting to leave a leg, and they're hoping somebody's going to jump over it, but on that one, we got the foul.
We've got words being said to someone on the bench. No cards produced. We're out of the pocket. As we hit 120 seconds to go until the half. 5-2 for Cincinnati Sirens. Almost had a case of too many players on the field there for a second.
Yeah.
Given away in a dangerous area. No problem, though, to go back to Angel Haley in goal.
So this is the Cincinnati I think we saw more in the first period. Sustained possession, movement off the ball, flowing in attack. This is them at their best.
Yeah. It seems like when they're doing that, they've got two or three really good options to pass to as well, just about at any point.
Yeah, and once they settle into this possession state, it's kind of like if you're the Aztecs, you're spending all your energy. That might be a card with boarding is the end result. Yep.
Yeah, going a little bit too hard. So with 69 seconds left on the clock until halftime,
Good math.
it will be a power play for Cincinnati. So the first one that we've seen here today in this matchup, 5-on-4. It'll become a little bit more like hockey, moving the defense around. And if they can get another one on the board before half, that would be pretty important for them.
Yeah. That's a welcome. This is a welcome opportunity. See how Cincinnati runs the power play.
They'll start just about as deep in the zone as they possibly could, and the cutback will come.
Nice turn.
Turn inside.
Wow,
Keown.
good save. Great turn.
They do all right on the rebound as well. So exactly 1 minute left in the second quarter. And Cincinnati will get things restarted. And ICT Aztecs will just dig in from the start. So it's Michaela Morgan that is highest up for them, kind of maybe on the break if they can get her going, maybe shorthanded. She will be putting the pressure on highest up the field. Just trying to close down as many passing lanes as they can, and especially the shooting lanes towards the keeper. Lund has started to make some big saves, but what can she do when it's 5-on-4 against her? 30 seconds left in the quarter. And that is maybe a chance wasted by Keown, the first one really we've seen from her.
Yep. Been pretty clinical thus far.
25 seconds. Morgan chasing after it, trying to apply the pressure up at midfield. Cincinnati have 20 seconds left to try to do something. 15 now. They'll run it around for probably one more chance.
Yep. Work it for the...
Looking for the buzzer
Good
beater of
ball.
sorts. Back to it. Someone needs to get a shot off as we hit.
That's great
3
movement.
seconds left on the clock. Last chance if they can get one off here, and the halftime whistle goes. So I think they'll start the third quarter, a player up for about a minute, but they're up 5-2 at half. David, your thoughts on that first half?
Overall, I think a pretty commanding performance from Cincinnati. For the most part, most stretches of the game, it's been them on the ball, them dictating the pace of the game. But the Aztecs showed the ability to get back in it. They made it 4-2 at one point with two really well taken, in quick succession type goals. So be curious to see if they can replicate that in the second half. Overall a really well-matched game, but I think Cincinnati have just been up for it and playing very much at their best.
ICT Aztecs have taken a shot on the chin in the first half. How will they respond? We'll find out in the second half. They're down 5-2. We'll take a 15-minute break and be back with you for second half action after this.
Cincinnati got to keep her change.
Back inside the City FC Fieldhouse in Detroit, Michigan for the MASLW playoffs. It's 5-2, the 7 seed over the 2 seed at halftime alongside David Dwahey, Ian Gilmore. We've got a goalkeeper change on this side of the field, the left side, your left side looking at the camera. Taylor Spiller is into net for Cincinnati Sirens, and they will get things started. Up 3 goals here in the second half.
Really looking forward to this half, Ian. I thought it was a very, although I thought Cincinnati certainly had the upper hand, it was an exciting first half, and the score line is tight enough that I think anything can still happen here, and looking forward to seeing how this plays out. And remember, I just realized, based on what the Aztecs coach yelled out, is that we're on the tail end of a power play here, a pre-halftime power play that they're just seeing out in these next couple seconds.
Yeah, I think right now is when it's going to end. So, yeah, back into the fold is Brooklyn Bailey. And maybe a chance going forward, but a good tackle put in by Gabby Bjorth. When you start looking at, well, actually, in the last game we said that the first goal out of halftime was going to be really important. I'd say it's probably just as true here as well. A 4-goal deficit, as they had earlier on, is harder and harder to overcome the farther we get into the game.
Yep.
But if ICT Aztecs were to score first here in the second half and pull it to 2, makes things a lot more manageable.
And it's going to be a spot kick. I think that hit the side netting before it hit the ceiling.
Yep. Minute and 40 seconds.
See the Aztecs players just sprinting out, trying to. This is one of those periods where each team is sort of making a change on the opposite end of the field, for lack of a better way of putting it. What a save.
Good save by Lund. It's still around the box.
Ooh.
She was pretty close to outside of the box there,
but rode the line well there.
At least brought it back in.
But just to elaborate on what I meant by that, when you go to make a change, if you're the Aztecs, your bench is on the offensive half. And so if you're pinned in defensively, it's really hard to get off the field because you never want to change when your team doesn't have the ball. And so you can see there, like you have further to run to get to your defensive end. Maybe that's the best way to put it.
There's Aronios.
She's been excellent today. I say as she plays the one stray pass of the game. They call that the commentator's curse. Sorry.
Yep. They'll switch play here to the near side and recycle it back around. Already you can see they're a bit more composed in this second half than they were early on in the first.
Ooh.
Trying to go back, but it's read really well.
Ooh.
Tackle comes in.
Wow. Yeah, I wondered if we'd get a whistle there eventually, just to settle things down a bit.
Yeah, that was
a couple tackles in a row there.
Allison Worley, who was fouled. Right on the line.
Ball on the spot of the foul. Interesting area here for the Aztecs to work with. Goalkeeper screen.
Goal. And it works!
Wow.
It gets through the defender and the keeper.
We have the best view of the house on that. We saw number 9 for the Aztecs not getting a touch, but just playing that important role of screening the goalie, and she couldn't see it till it was a little too late to react. That's pivotal. That's a big goal for the Aztecs getting their way back in this thing.
Yeah, it came all the way through from Emma Gervey, her 7th goal of the year, less than 3 minutes into this second half. And just like that, it's 5-3, and Aztecs are right back in this.
Nice ball forward.
Cincinnati straight back into it with a chance. That one ripped right over the crossbar.
What a response from Cincinnati. Just their movement is exquisite.
Layoff. Keeper makes a great save.
Man, a lot of respect for what both teams brought in that last sequence. You got Cincinnati, who are just saying, okay, we're just going to reclaim the lead. Did everything but. And then you got the Aztecs who are like, hey, we like where we are right now. We're going to deny this amazing chance that you've just created. It's been a really good battle between two very good teams.
Intensity turned up a little bit out of halftime.
Yeah, no doubt.
Trying to squeeze through as Morgan giving it away.
Nice turn. That's
Great
second
turn
time
inside
she's
by
done that.
Keown, yeah.
Keown's very good, clever with that turn where she kind of puts herself onto her favorite right foot, spinning away from the defender, creating space.
Viletong back to her keeper. Chance forward now. 3-on-2 with the defender getting back. The chance comes through. Keeper does well
Good
enough.
Save. Good save, because that's a tough shot to see.
And it turns
nice
into a break the other way if they can go quickly, but they give it right back.
Unlucky. Little miscue there.
So the Aztecs will come forward.
Good feet.
Pressure from both directions, though. And a shot comes through, deflected, and the keeper saves. We'll stop for an injury real quick. It's Bridget Wilder that's down.
She kind of got the worst of that one through her back, but seems to be okay.
Wilder,
tough player.
Defender who's scored twice already this season, will go to the bench. Just over 4.5 minutes into the third quarter. Rodas trying to track this one down. Good pressure from behind. Battle against the boards, but a turn away from Maria Stevens.
Nice ball.
Releases it forward. Numbers into the mix, but Aronios is the one who comes away with it for Cincinnati. Transition game very, very much involved right now.
Yeah.
Floated all the way down along the boards for Zwolski. Laid off. Not sure if that was a shot or a cross. It comes to Keown. Keeper right at the edge of her box again. Lund and making the save. Whistle comes in from the referee. I think a shirt pull is what's being said by the referee. So it'll be a chance for Cincinnati deep in enemy territory. What will they do with this set piece? Cut it all the way across to Aronios. Back across. Now it could be a break on. Nope, Keown is there. Aronios is incredibly composed and good with the ball at her feet.
Really is.
Can she make something happen?
The modern day attacking defender.
That shot is blocked off her left foot. Rose trying to step in. Aronios getting to it again. ICT trying to come the other way. Keown into Aronios.
Good tackle.
Good help defense there.
Yeah, Aronios just going and winning it back.
And they'll reset things a little bit here, will Cincinnati, with Jade Rayberger.
In retrospect, I think some of Cincinnati's best chances and a lot of their goals have come from a change in possession. They win the ball, they step to it as Aztecs are building out, or they just win a tackle in a good area, and then they go forward with it. What
tackle!
A tackle.
How good is that?
Wow.
After she just got hurt and came back into the game.
She's just not phased by that, apparently. What a tackle that was. Clean as well. All ball.
Yeah. You know, I've seen some of the best slide tackles I've seen in like the last 5 years. These two games this morning.
I agree. Like the tackling's been exceptional.
And they're just technically very good too.
Yep, they're not fouls and they're certainly not reckless. It's just controlled, leaving their feet, but in a very controlled way and making good, clean contact.
Because, I think in the big game, I think the art of slide tackling has gotten lost.
Oh, yeah, I think it's less and less, and nice to see it done well here for sure.
As we creep under 8 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
The 2-goal margin, Ian. This game is anyone's.
Yeah, it's on a knife edge right now. Which way will it turn? Viletong moving forward.
When Cincinnati get that movement off the ball, they're very hard to stop.
Always moving, always changing. The angles of the triangle are moving and changing as well all the time. Rodas.
And then they have the individual ability to get themselves out of trouble on the dribble. They're a very good passing team, but they also have that a little bit of individual brilliance that cracks things open. Been really impressed with them.
Shot from long distance, just a little high and wide. So we'll reset, and then it'll be I think the under 8 timeout here. So 7:04 left to go in the third quarter. It's a 2-goal game. And we'll take the media timeout. We usually do some shout-outs on these. Anybody that you feel like shouting out today,
Ooh,
David?
Man. Let me think for a second. How about you?
I don't have any off the top of my head yet.
Okay.
I think for the later games, potentially.
Yeah. Shout out to those tuning in the clubhouse right now. Shout out to those tuning in. How about this? Shout out to everybody who's tuning in to support your team from afar today.
Yeah.
Because we know that apart from Detroit City FC, for whom this is a home match, all 7 of these very, very worthy teams are coming in from a good distance. And so we imagine some friends and family members are probably watching the stream as their form of support. And to all of you who fit that description, we salute you.
Heck yeah.
Sorry you can't be here in person to watch these great games up close.
Yeah. And one other thing that's been cool is there have been fans at each one of these games for these teams.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
Talking to RPFC's head coach, too, he said that they had brought some fans from Dallas. So
It's awesome.
people coming from far distances. And, again, yeah, we're glad we can bring this to you wherever you are watching your team from, whether it be Cincinnati or Wichita or wherever you may be tuning in from.
Got good nationwide representation.
Yeah, so one thing, talking with Berlin's head coach, too, is, he was talking about they're obviously from Canada, and they've got, their Canadian pride. This is a 3-country league now.
Yeah, that's right. It's a true North American championship this weekend.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Seen the teams from Texas are playing teams in Monterrey, and obviously FC Berlin from Canada. A majority of the teams from the States.
Yeah, and hopefully it's the beginning of more growth in that capacity. Like,
yeah.
If you get a couple more teams from Canada, there's so much talent in both Canada and Mexico that if we could add a couple markets, that would just make it even more exciting and special, and you'd get a neat contrast of styles. It's the world's game, and neat to see three countries represented in these national finals here.
Rose with a great turn inside, and equally good save by Lund, though.
Ooh, good
Aztecs, will they have a break here? It's a 2-on-3 at the moment.
Nice
a great
ball.
pass in behind. Here's a good chance.
Oh.
Keeper makes a huge save.
What a save. I think kind of offered, like had everything cut off, but I think the forward thought go 5-hole because that was like the best option, but just got enough leg on it. What a save from the Cincinnati goalkeeper there. Made herself big, as good goalkeepers do in those situations.
Taylor Spiller came in for this second half, and she's done really well so far. A couple big saves.
She has. I think the one goal that snuck by her, she was like screened. She was occupied by the Aztecs forward.
Here they go in behind now. What can they get done? Right along the boards. It's Tate Cuffey. That shot coming in from long distance.
I think that's more like it for the Aztecs, though. A little bit of sustained possession in the Cincinnati fourth, we'll say. And I don't think they were able to do that quite as frequently in the first half. It's a good sign for them.
Forward towards Abbott. Aronios cutting and moving forward.
Man, she's
doing
good.
it one more
she's
time.
Good on the ball.
She makes something happen.
Did she just play it to herself off the boards? I love that.
She did. Didn't come off as a goal, but it was a darn good chance.
Good recovery defending from the Aztecs there, because I think she was about to get that thing back and have a nice little chance on goal for herself.
Just under 5.5 minutes
She's
to play
great.
in the third quarter.
She's trying stuff. She's dynamic, and she's been a difference maker today.
She's been in for a lot of the game, too. She's just subbed off, but it feels like she's been in most of it.
Yeah, she makes her presence felt. But she also she operates well around the play. They've got McKeown and number 8. I'm still getting used to names here. Sorry, Swolski. Those three have been a really nice triangle at times. I think when you got talented players, you want to put them around each other, and the ones that look to kind of create. Oh man, what a move by Keown. She's just been
making room
individually
for herself.
Brilliant today.
Just couldn't get the layoff right. Under 5 minutes to play in the third.
A lot of talent on this Cincinnati team. And also on this Aztecs team, I mean, some great individual moments. They've been knocking on the door here as well. This has been a really exciting game, and you love it when it gets to the wire and like you don't know who's going to win.
Yeah.
You know, obviously Cincinnati are in the driver's seat, but the Aztecs are one goal away from making this real interesting.
Battling for it on the boards.
I also want to say, and I worry about jinxing things, but I still feel like it warrants being said. As physical and intense and hard fought as these games have been, there have not been any real ugly moments that stand out. It's just good, hard, clean soccer. Two teams going at it, a lot of respect for each other, but they're playing to win and putting their bodies on the line, but like in a way that's not endangering anyone. It's really fun to see that, and I think it's a game that can get a little scary at times. You know, with boards around, you've got this these immovable objects that add a little bit of a threat to people's health and well-being, but like the players are respecting that, and it's extra fun when you see a high level and a high intensity, but everybody's still playing within the rules,
right?
Coloring within the lines, so to speak. So credit to all 4 clubs that we've watched so far today for kind of doing things the right way and entertaining the crowd while keeping things in perspective.
FC Berlin over here, I think on the far side of the field, just down to our left entering. I think RPFC has been watching all of this game because, of course, the winner of this game will play the winner of the 4 p.m. game that's coming up, the quarterfinal between RPFC and FC Berlin.
FC Berlin hailing from Kitchener, Ontario, about 3 hours away from the Detroit area. They probably had the closest trip.
Yeah, Cincinnati
like and Louisville are a close second, yeah.
Louisville's like 5-ish.
And maybe
how good is that? Keown making one more pass.
Yeah, Keown rarely puts a foot wrong. Like her first touch has been very sharp. Her movement with and without the ball has just been very intelligent. She's a fun player to watch.
So we hit 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. 3 goals for ICT Aztecs, 5 for Cincinnati. There's only been 1 so far in the last 13 minutes, and that was from the Aztecs pretty early on in this third quarter.
Yeah, it's interesting. The scoring has slowed down, but I think the quality's gone up.
Big chance here. Keown onto her unfavored left foot. She makes the pass and put wide.
What a great ball and what a great effort from the Cincinnati player to keep that on frame. Couldn't quite do it, but really had to reach to make that happen. Oh, they might be in here.
Michaela Morgan touches it forward. Can they put something off the boards? It is Rose going back to her keeper, somewhere she hasn't found herself very often today. Usually she's been the furthest forward player for the Sirens.
It's the cool thing about the arena game. You find attacking players sometimes find themselves the furthest player back. And sometimes defensive players are easily able to get forward because of the length of the pitch and the rotation. Good tackle, good block tackle there from the Aztecs. Going to keep possession here.
That one just lofted a little bit too high into the net. And it'll come to the keeper's hands. 2 minutes left to go. Great throw from keeper here, Spiller. Wilder making her way forward. Playing that one off the boards. Lunds comes out of her box. That's a little bit too eager from the defender into the back of Wilder.
Took a little chop there and caught some player.
Talking a little bit afterwards, too.
Mm-hmm. A little conversation.
Ronios. Drummond. Now Rose. Ronios.
Nice move.
Gonna try it herself.
She landed funny there. I don't know if she hit her head.
Yeah, it's not good.
I wasn't paying attention until I noticed she didn't get up. I think she swung so hard with her left. I don't know if her momentum carried her forward and she either tweaked an ankle or, yeah, it seems like maybe it's an ankle or a lower leg thing. Hopefully she's all right. Just needed a second. Needs to walk it off. Yeah, she should be okay.
Hope she's all right. Either way, that's a big point in this game, whether she can come back in or not, because she has been the focal point of pretty much everything that Cincinnati is doing.
Just got a note from Kyle Wazalewski, a devoted servant of Detroit City FC and someone who's been involved in all elements of the match day experience today. He's down on the field level, and he mentioned that number 2 on Cincinnati has 5 fouls.
Oh.
So she's got to play with a little bit of extra care because 6 gets you an ejection.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm guessing that means the following game as well, or is it maybe just she can't get back in this
Yeah,
one?
I don't know about the suspension, but I do know that 6 fouls in one game essentially means you foul out and you get sent off.
Yeah, you almost wonder at this point in the game, do they put her on? You know, like in the 11v11 version of the game, sometimes when a player's on a yellow card and you don't want to risk them getting a red, you sub them.
Yep, same in basketball. It's the same sort of conversation.
The foul out situation, which is exactly what we're dealing with here. 6 fouls and you're out.
Yeah. Funny enough, like I don't remember 5 happening. Here comes Michaela Morgan down this side. Tackle put in. And they're going to say it's fair. What a good tackle it was. Morgan can still have a chance here. She gets it past the keeper.
She might still be
bouncing around, squared across to Miller.
That was quite a flurry in front of goal there, and they maintain. Oh, I was going to say they maintain possession, although maybe they do keep it here.
Another tackle put in by Rayberger. That one, she wins the ball clearly.
Now that might be on the spot. That might be in a good spot here for Aztecs. Yeah, I see the referee, Aaron Scherer, just shepherding things forward to the spot.
Defensive clearance, so it'll come to the spot in the middle. We've got 18.7 seconds left to go.
Timeout.
And Aztecs will take a timeout to try to talk this set piece over and get another goal before the end of the third quarter. I was just about to say, I mean, I feel like it's Rodas, so I feel like she's been putting tackles in, but I don't remember 5 fouls.
Yeah,
so
I haven't like noticed anybody consistently fouling. Maybe there've been a couple light ones that we didn't log because it was a subtle moment.
Because the other part of that is 4 fouls in 1 half is a blue card, so
That's
4
right.
fouls in 1 half, and you go on the box. So she's at least spread them out over 2 halves.
Yeah, smart in that regard. But I think if you get to 6, maybe it doesn't matter when they happen.
Right.
But yeah, it is. I don't have a memory of many. But it's obviously something that's been discussed on there. I think they give teams kind of like fair warning, like his players on 5, 6, and they're out.
Because, I mean, she had been featuring quite a bit, and we haven't seen her for probably 5 or 6 minutes now at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That's, again, what will happen when intensity is this high and it turns itself into fouls. So 18 seconds left in the third quarter. Chance here for the Aztecs to cut it to 1.
Time is of the essence, but in this case,
to the front post and blocked out by the keeper.
What a block. That was brave.
Kept in. Front post again. Still bouncing around. It's kept out, and the keeper has it.
What bravery from the number 10 on the Aztecs there to put her body on the line to try and get that goal.
Keown was trying to go quickly, and we've hit the end of the third quarter now. We've got a game on our hands, David.
Yeah,
it's a 2-goal game heading into the last 15 minutes. Cincinnati 5, ICT Aztecs 3. 15 more minutes of action after this break. Back inside the City Fieldhouse after a brief intermission there. 2 minutes of the 3, I think, but they're ready to go, and that's been evidenced by the play in that third quarter. Gilmore next to me now is McKenna Mascaro. She was on the broadcast of the last game. If you were listening, David Dway, he has other duties to get to as the general chief of soccer of DCFC. So we've got 15 minutes more to play. Cincinnati leading 5-3. McKenna, you've been watching this one already. Your thoughts so far on what you've seen?
Yeah, so far it's been a fantastic game to watch. I think both sides have been coming right out of the gates. A little bit nervous for the Aztecs to begin with, but they've shown that they have the capability to claw back, and now it's anyone's game. It's been a super fun game to watch, though. Very high intense. It's starting to get a little chippy, but that's the fun of soccer.
Morgan is in, and
right
that
away.
one. No, they're saying it's not in.
Oh.
It came off the post, and I thought it went right across the goal line. How close must that one have been? Well, the referees are saying no. Wow, that would have changed things dramatically. Made it a 1-goal game. Instead, it's a deficit of 2 still. And I think Morgan is going to get a yellow for dissent. Is it a yellow or blue?
I think it's a yellow card.
You have to go off for those still.
You do.
Okay.
Yep, you still have to go off. They are out, I believe, for 2 minutes, and they're not allowed to play, but it's not a penalty, so you still get to play with 5 players.
Okay. So she'll be in the box for 2 minutes, but it'll be even strength.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it was Morgan who hit that ball right across, so you can understand why she was giving it to the refs there. That one was about as close to a goal as I've seen without being a goal. Here comes Cincinnati the other way. And tripped up from behind. Thought Keown was, but instead they'll keep playing. Aztecs have numbers forward now. Going forward is Worley. Down in the corner, battling for it. Getting her body across. Zwolski will play it down the line and have Keown try to run onto it. Lund will exit her box and make the easy pass across to Romero. Worley again. Now Keown giving it back to Viletong, and she is hurt afterwards. She's taken a few bumps and bruises in this game.
Hope she's all right.
Only 2 minutes into this fourth quarter, but it's been a barnstormer already. Here comes Aronios. She's back in after going off hurt, so that's good news for Cincinnati. Maybe not as good news for the Aztecs. Touch into Drummond. Now back to Aronios.
You do have to almost point out the fact that Cincy can knock a ball around like no other. It's very, very nice, finding feet, and then coming around defensively. And I think that the Aztecs are finally learning how to stay with their mark, since he just never stops running. So kudos to the Aztecs to being able to defend them now.
Is that surprising at all to you, seeing as this is, I know it's different conferences, and we'll table that for a second, as Gallo comes forward. Still trying to stay after it. Aronios clears it out, but is that surprising to you at all? I mean, I know we're reading into seeds probably more than others might, but seeing as it's the 2 seed that's kind of been outplayed a little bit by Cincinnati here, are you surprised at all by that? Just the fact that it's been the 7 seed that's kind of, as you said, sort of outplayed, and the Aztecs have gotten into it a bit more, but are you surprised at all by that?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I think that it just comes with being able to adapt to the game. I mean, seeding or anything like that, I think it truly is. And if you're capable of making it to a national tournament, then I think that you're capable of hanging in with any team no matter what the seed is. So I do think it's all about just adapting to the other team and figuring out the best style of play for your team to be successful.
That's not a very good giveaway. Keown gets to the end of it. Lund wins the tackle and plays it forward. Keown has had a couple of close calls, and we're hearing even with headsets on, the exact messages from the coach to Lund is to get it to the corners when she plays it forward.
Especially after a fantastic save.
High standards here in the playoffs. Cincinnati, this is another big spell of possession for them. And if they can just keep the ball for the next 10 minutes, they'll be happy, up 2 goals. Here's Drummond. Ball comes in. The second one is made again. How big might that be? Spiller coming up huge once again. And it's a de facto power play at the moment. No, they'll blow things dead. There's a player hurt on the other end for the Aztecs. After that, the commotion down there.
That is tremendous work from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, Spiller has made multiple big saves this half. Probably none bigger than that one there. As much as they're trying, the Aztecs can't seem to break it down and get that fourth one.
You know, Ian, I know that in the earlier broadcast we kind of talked about the little hidden rules that are in arena soccer, and one cool one is that each player gets 6 fouls, and once they get to 6 fouls, that means they are ejected from the game, but they are welcome to play in the next game if their team does advance, but you do have a 6 foul limit as a player, which is kind of cool. You know, it's definitely interesting with arena soccer having the penalty boxes and power plays, but it's also kind of incorporating a little bit of basketball where you don't want to foul out.
Yeah, we were talking about, because Audrey Rodas sits on 5 right now, so we haven't seen number 2 for Cincinnati for a little while here, and that is because they probably don't want her to get sent off. But if she does come back in, get another foul, she would be able to play if they get to the next game and get into the semifinal. What a tackle that is that's put in. Keown coming forward, as she has so many times. Good through ball, but even better tracking back. Emma Gervey coming across to do some defensive work. The last goal scorer for the Aztecs. Can she get another? Can they get another? Under 10 minutes to play now in the fourth quarter.
So far, I do have to say that the Aztecs have had the best 2 chances of the half so far, and that'll be a blue card.
Yeah, Worley, I think, just was trying to get out of the way of, she was standing right over the head of Gabby Bjorth, and I think knocked her on the head as she was coming through. And that might be the reason that she is going into the box for the next 2 minutes. So that happens with 9:49 on the clock, so they won't be back at full strength until there's less than 8 minutes to go and down 2 goals. Power play for Cincinnati. Here's Keown. Now Zworski. Going for it right away, held by Lund.
Great read by the keeper. Again, it's really all about just holding on for the right moment to put that ball inside, and then you can go ahead and get your shot on net.
There's 30 seconds to the power play killed. 1/4 of the way through it. Cincinnati comes again, and Aztecs will set up. It's really just a shift left and right defensively from them. As they try to, Cincinnati tries to find a hole in it. Jessica Miller comes away. Past 2 defenders, can't get past the third and Keown. She'll try to track it down though. And they'll check back in. Half the power play gone, 1 minute left to go on it. Less than 9 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Here's Wilder. Pass across to Keown, who rockets it against the glass. Wide once more. Wilder across. Keeper makes the save from her backside. Across to Keown once more. Making the extra pass to Zwolski. Going with it at her left foot. Deflected as it came across. 20 seconds left on the power play. Inside, across, Drummond. Wilder sends it high. 16 seconds to go on the power play. And There will be a timeout by the Aztecs with 8:05 left in this contest. These have been two good games so far. We have not been disappointed with the level we've seen to this point.
Yeah, it's just been both teams coming out of the gate super strong. Like you said, it's been two fantastic games. I know the next game we have FC Berlin and our PFC.
Yep.
That'll be another fantastic game.
So the winner of that one will play the winner of this one. That's McKenna Mascaro. I'm Ian Gilmore. If you're in this huddle right now, especially the team that's down as the Aztecs, what is the message? You got 16 seconds left to kill off the power play, and then it's go for it.
Yeah, you got to go. You got to get the ball forward. You got to get numbers up. You know, I would try and just put it forward, trying to stay a little bit higher, and then you just got to try and find their feet or find that open space behind behind the back line.
They've only been able to do it 3 times. I mean, we talked about how good Cincinnati is. They've got the best defense in the league. They haven't given up more than 6 goals in any game this year. The only game they did that in was against Louisville when they lost 6-5. So Aztecs have a big task on their hands. What can they do about it, though?
I mean, I truly just think the Aztecs have taken advantage of the just defensive breakdown. I think that they've just found little cheeky goals, little ways to score. And I think that they just have to come out strong and try and just find it big.
Outlet to Morgan, and they'll win the foul.
This might just get them what they need to go ahead and finish out the power play and then go ahead and get it forward.
That's a nice little move there by Miller. She'll go down the line once more. 2 players beat. What can she do now? Play it across. It's spinning off the boards. Still not corralled by the keeper, and it'll pass back out. Power play over. They're back to full strength as Gorley comes back in. Shot from long distance, kept out by the keeper and grabbed on second effort by Spiller.
She has absolutely been keeping Cincy in the game so far this second half. All of the shots, all of the opportunities have been the Aztecs. Fantastic job.
Here's Keown. Temperature has been turned up in here with half of the quarter left to play. 7:25 on the clock. It's a 2-goal lead for Cincinnati. Aronios chooses to go long. Rose is the target forward. Back to Aronios. Gabby Bjorth now.
And again, just like the first game, if you're the Aztecs, do you start thinking about pushing your goalie up a little bit higher, and at what point do you put a field player in? If you do, I mean, you do have to try and chase that 2-goal lead. I don't think that you do it right now with 7 minutes left, but eventually, you know, when do you start thinking about that? Those are some key changes that are going to be crucial for the next 6 minutes.
Yeah, we haven't really seen Lund play with her feet too much today, so not even sure kind of what her comfortability level is if she does have to push up. We do know that she's made some big saves. Both keepers have. All 4 keepers we've seen. 5 keepers so far in this the first 2 games, the morning, early afternoon slate. They've all been good. Dumping it down into the corner. Abbott running onto it. Using her body well. Dropping it off for Aronios. 6 minutes left to play. Now Keown, all the way back to Aronios. Pressure being applied a bit higher up the field now by the Aztecs. Since he's been able to deal with it pretty well, though. There's Rodas back into the game. So remember, she's on 5 fouls. 6 gets you ejected. Here she is. Keown. Cuts inside. The streaking Zwolski with the keeper out of her box. Lund is off the line and off the goal mouth. Zwolski still with it at her feet. Rodas now. Really good spell of possession from Cincinnati. It's lasted 2 or 3 minutes here. As we tick towards 5 minutes left to go.
And it's exactly that, right? If you're Cincy, you're not really trying to look to go to goal. as quickly as you can. You're just trying to keep possession, knock the ball around a little bit, and then if you have that prime opportunity, then you can go towards goal. But if you're Cincy, you're going to just hold back a little bit. You're not in a rush. There's no need to try and go and then turn the ball over.
Wins the tackle. Chance here for Aztecs, and it's right at the keeper. Nayeli Gallo was through on goal, but couldn't find a way around Spiller. Here's the time where they need a goal, 4.5 minutes left. Need to chop it to 1 so they can have a chance to tie it. Chance for Drummond to peel out. Rose is to her right. She's thinking about going alone, trying to cut it across, but it's Gervey who does really well, then does put it out against the net, so it'll come to a spot kick in the middle. Before that, though, I think Cincinnati will take a timeout here. So 4 minutes, 10 seconds left to go. It's really just about doing the same thing for Cincinnati now, right? Is keeping the ball and letting the clock tick down.
Yeah, that's really about it. Cincinnati just probably needs to keep a little bit of possession. Don't turn the ball over when it's not necessary, and try and run the game clock out as much as they possibly can.
You've been on the player side, you've been on the coach side. Days like today when it's like, things are one and done, is there any extra anxiety or anything along those? Is there extra nerves when you know that if you don't get it done here, your season's over?
I mean, as a player, obviously, yes, there's a lot of pregame jitters. You have to think all the hard work that you've done, that you've put in for the whole season. It all really comes down to this time. Tournament time's the best thing to do. It's the best thing to be a part of. So yeah, when I was a player, I was a little bit nervous. As a coach, you just have to have faith in your team and have faith in your players. We've done everything that we can. We've prepared our team as much as we can, and we have the players that know how to take accountability, know what this means. And yes, as a coach too, I'm a little nervous, but it's a good nervous. It's a ready to go, ready to play, ready to coach. But all around, tournament time, this is what it's all about.
As both teams break their huddles, 4 minutes, 10 seconds left to go. Cincinnati 5, ICT Aztecs 3. We knew this would be a bit of a defensive affair. There's been a lot of chances, even if there's only been 8 goals so far tonight. We will restart play here with a chance for Cincinnati.
Seems like they've got a play going on.
They've had some creative set pieces so far. What do they have up their sleeve here? Bjorth stands over it. They go this way. Zwolski, maybe off an arm. It was maybe close enough into her body, though, that no referee whistle went there. And we'll take another timeout because we haven't had enough. All right, 4 minutes and 4 seconds now. We worked 6 seconds off the clock there. I think it is interesting if you think about it from a coach's perspective. You can't control what happens on the field to the same level a lot of other coaches in other sports can. So you talked about there being, those pregame jitters, those pregame nerves, but you feel like, it sounds to me like you're pretty confident in your players once they take the field that they're going to execute, what you've instilled in them.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like I said earlier, we have a very talented group. They've all been playing soccer for basically their entire lives. They've all played at high levels where we have shared and given the information that we can to make them successful. And it comes down to them. And I know that they all are in a mindset to where they're ready to go, they're ready to play. And that's really all it comes down to is, like you said, us as coaches, we can't go out there and do it for them, but we can put them and give them the necessary information to be in the best position to be successful. But they got to go out and execute, and it's all about trusting your team, trusting your players, and they're very coachable. So they're receptive of everything, which you can't ask for a better player.
Let's get into the strategy of it now with 4 minutes left to go. Are you pushing Lund up as much as you can at this point? 2 goals needed in 4 minutes.
Yep, I would. I think that you got to push her up, especially, you see them doing that right now. Even if it's just a little bit, she has to be involved in the play. You got to try and give yourself a little bit of an edge somehow, some way, whether it's just playing the longer ball or the extra player in. You have to figure out a way to give yourself an opportunity to get shots on goal.
That one goes over the bar. I thought it might have taken a flick off the defender, but it'll be into the keeper's hands. Under 4 minutes to play now. Long ball forward to Keown. Wins it from behind. Doesn't win the second tackle, though. They'll try to break out. Big tackle put in, and they'll come away with it. Gallo, second team All-MASLW, does not get that one right.
And right there, I think that that's a prime opportunity to use the boards, knock it off the wall, get it into at least a pool of players, let it be a little kick around if so, right? A goal's a goal, whether it's messy or clean. So instead of trying to put that one on frame, personally, I think that should have utilized the boards a little bit more. But, hey, they're getting in, they're getting chances. There's 3 minutes and 25 seconds left, and really it comes down to how many chances can the Aztecs get here in the next couple of minutes.
So Zwolski, it is being helped off. She came out of that tackle limping. It was one of the biggest tackles we've seen all game, which is saying something. 3.5 minutes to go. Aztecs come away with it. That's Rodas defending on 5 fouls. Here's Worley. Gallo trying to turn up and inside as we hit 3 minutes left to play. Lund far out of her box, making that first pass. Vilathong came and put that one into the side netting, so big chance here for Aztecs. What can they do with it? Laying it off, blocked immediately. Going herself. And Rodas with Aronios in front of her. Lund out of her box. Aronios goes around, has an open goal, and slots it home. And that will all but end this one. Aronios finally getting the reward of a goal for all the work that she's put in tonight. And it's 6-3 Cincinnati with 2.5 minutes left.
I mean, that right there just comes from deflection, and then she's in, and good kudos to her for putting it away.
That is the one thing that you have to watch for when you push your keeper up like that, is chances the other way, and that's really the first time today that we've seen it come back to bite the team that's pushing their keeper forward. Rodas with a takeaway now. Cincinnati thinking about adding some more.
At least now, if you're Cincy, you can kind of sit back and breathe a little bit more. That one kind of, like you said, seals the deal a little bit, but you never know in arena soccer. Things can change super quickly. But if I'm Cincy, I'm just keeping possession. I'm holding the ball for a little bit.
They need one and quick if it's to be a miracle. 2 minutes left to go. Cincy's still playing really well defensively. Aronios cutting it out. Under 2 minutes to go now. That one up into the net. It'll be Aztecs ball. Vilathong with Aronios in front of her. Looking for a 2 and a quick flurry. 90 seconds on the clock. I don't know how much desire she has to go towards goal. Instead, maybe just keeping the ball. She'll commit a foul instead. Minute 18. Trying the long-range effort, smashing it off the boards. But once again, Cincy's first to that second ball. Moved off it, but Drummond still comes away with it. No one in front of her, and her help is all behind her. As we tick under a minute left to play in this 2-seed versus 7-seed matchup.
Yeah, I think you just win the ball back, and you just got to keep it. Try and get it forward. No reason to go ahead and put yourself in a position to lose and get scored on this late.
Lunda's going to try one herself right into the midsection of Vilathong. She's
Take
right back
one
up,
for the
though.
team.
Yep, 30 seconds on the clock. Maybe one more chance for the Aztecs as they come forward. 15 seconds to play. And instead it'll be a long effort. That one is just off as we hit under 10 seconds. That'll just about do it. How impressive has this been from Cincinnati? Coming in as the 7th seed and knocking off number 2, ICT Aztecs. There's other coaches that said Cincinnati could make some noise in this tournament, and they are moving on to the semifinal. McKenna, your thoughts on this very impressive performance from them?
Yeah, I mean, right away, both teams came out of the gates flying. It was a fantastic game. Essentially, since he kept the ball, they looked cleaner on the ball. They put away their shots. Kudos to them, and kudos to Cincy's goalie, right? She kept him in the game longer, and it was just fantastic all around. Great job to the Aztecs, both teams making it to the tournament. Like I said, if you're able to make it to the tournament, you're able to do any damage to any sort of team. So congratulations to Cincy, and they're moving on, and can't wait to see them tomorrow.
Unfortunately for ICT Aztecs, their first loss of the season comes in the playoffs, and the Cincinnati Sirens are moving on. They'll play the winner of RPFC and FC Berlin, which is the next game. We'll get you at 4 o'clock. McKenna will be back for a little bit of that one at least before she has to go actually work today. I've been Ian Gilmore. Yusuf and I is on the cameras. Alex Wright is behind the controls. We'll see you in about an hour.